let's talk machines and what you're paying for when you buy a machine at a dealer versus buying a big box store machine sometimes. We're going to talk Brother machines specifically today. This is the stuff I'm going to talk about will be similar on some of the other brands that you'll find in kind of big box stores. And some of the differences when you're looking at machines as to what you guys can't see. It's kind of like buying a used car. The stuff that you don't know about because nobody ever told you. So, come for a wheel this way. And let me walk you through two machines that are nearly identical from all outward appearances and why they're totally not the same. Totally not the same. And one that I will gladly repair and service for you and one that I probably won't. Okay, so from all outward appearances, these are both Brother sewing machines. They both have a lot of the same buttons and same or similar interfaces, a little bit different, and not exactly comparable number of stitches, but quite comparable. So if you're out looking at machines and you come across something like this CS 6000, the price on this might vary, 100, 150, 200, maybe 300, somewhere in there. It is computerized. It does have 59 stitch patterns, a pretty good selection of buttonholes. It has a start-stop button, has a reverse, has the needle up, needle down feature, and it has a speed control. It's a mechanical tension dial, bobbin winders on top, and drop-in bobbin system. So when you're looking at that and then you go over and look at this Brother NS80, what you're going to notice is there's a start-stop button, a reverse. Ooh, that's a little bit different. That's a tie-off function. There's needle up, needle down. There's speed control, and there's 80 built-in stitches. Probably what you're going to find is this NS80 right now is selling for $600 in store. Except that it's not, because it's one of the many things that's back ordered. So its average going price has been about $600. So there's a pretty big drastic difference between this machine that usually sells around $600 and this machine that sells around $200. The biggest difference is weight. So I can curl this machine. And I haven't been to the gym in months. Oh, it's attached to a power cord. Hang on. So lots of people, when they're looking for either a second machine or looking to buy a machine, they're trying to buy something that doesn't weigh very much. Sometimes it's a matter of space and you have to lift it up into a shelf. But if I can curl this machine, there's a problem. So this machine, I can hardly lift with one hand that same way. It's significantly heavier. So let me walk you through the stuff on the inside that you can't tell when you buy this machine. This machine is in my trade-in not savable pile. So it's here just to be a demo unit at this point. But when you get this open, what you're going to notice is there is not a metal frame inside this machine. There's a lot of metal in it. Your needle bar area, the upper shaft is metal. The feed module is all metal. The lower shaft is metal. But if you're looking carefully, those metal shafts are screwed into the plastic housing on this machine. So that means that any torque on this plastic can shift how these shafts are sitting. And I know, based on what this thing sounded like when we ran it, that at least one of these shafts is not sitting properly. So the machine turns and the shafts turn, but it's really, really, really stiff. And I can tell looking in here right now that whatever's going on, yeah, this is the big box machine, the big box store machine. what you're getting in here is it's partially a really, really dry bushing, and partially it's probably been seized and has burnt itself and is probably scratched. But all it takes is this plastic housing getting warm or dropped or handled inappropriately, and things are going to start shifting and warping. And then you're going to have a really unhappy machine. Yeah, it's all attached to the plastic housing. And it's like 4 screws to hold each shaft in place. It's not much. So I might be able to adjust how the shaft is sitting a little bit, but once that plastic is warped, it's never gonna go right back to normal. And one of the other things I've seen happen on this kind of machine, and usually happens in comments on online. Oh, I don't have a needle. That's inconvenient. The other thing that can happen is every once in a while, this is the type of machine where a helpful hubby will offer to fix his lovely wife's machine. And the moment you open these covers, you've altered the structure in here. So I can move the top of the machine in reference to the bottom of the machine by about 1 centimeter, which is drastic when clearance between your needle and your hook is within 0.5 millimeter. So if you can warp it that much right now, imagine what can happen in the hands of the wrong person. So lots of times these are not super repairable. So by all means, if you need an inexpensive machine to take to the cabin or to ride in your camper for the summer, and you're not worried about it being a long-term investment, a $100 big box store machine might do the trick, but this is not something we would consider a serviceable long-term machine. The other thing that sometimes happens between kind of big box stores and better machines is the quality of the parts. So this one happens to have a metal hook in it. I've seen some of these really inexpensive machines have plastic hooks, like a plastic composite hook, and they're really brittle. So they wear out quickly. They're no fun, but that's what we get there. So when you're looking at a full kind of dealer level machine, again, the outsides are comparable. When you get into the inside, you have this big aluminum frame. That's where the weight of this machine is. This is why I can't lift it and curl it like I can the other one. This NS80 and its kind of previous models, the NS40 and the NS80, are probably our top selling machines in the store ever. They've been fantastic. They're pretty easy to open as a tech. They're very, very serviceable, and they have very few problems. So as much as it sounds great to buy the least expensive machine you can, I highly recommend bumping up a little bit if you're buying new to something that does have this kind of weight to it when you pick it up in store. It will be a much sturdier, longer lasting machine for you. Gail, the thinking behind having both levels is brand recognition. So people who have no idea that specialty shops like ours exist might still buy this machine, and oftentimes they end up here for service. So when they start having issues, there's a 1-800 number in the box. They'll call Brother Canada, and Brother Canada will refer them to a service center, which is usually a dealer, such as ourselves. So then they'll get into the hands of somebody who knows more, and maybe they'll get into a machine that will serve them better. So you can, I don't even want to speculate numbers, but I know that way more of these are sold worldwide than those. They sell a lot of really cheap machines, but it's market. You got to compete with the other brands that are doing the same things. So good things to be aware of. The other thing I'll walk you through here is, so all of these metal parts, this is metal in metal. This is really sturdy. There's no way for me to easily warp the position of anything when I open this machine to service it. If all it needs is clean and oil, it's clean and oil, we're in and out. It's straightforward and easy. It's easy to make the adjustments on these machines to keep them sewing nice and well. Well, this one has a needle in it. That's convenient. But as far as how close your needle is to your hook when your stitch happens, so this is how close your needle should be. So that giant centimeter movement that I can make happen in the other machine, there's no warping this. I would probably need to stand on it to warp it. So those are some of the things to watch for. The parts in this machine are better quality. The electronics, little tidier and a little smaller, so probably a little higher end. So a similar functionality, but these look like big gobby first day on the job kind of solders, and that looks way more machine driven. So other things, if you're looking to spend less than a brand new machine, there's places out there like Kijiji. I have no idea what you're buying when you buy on Kijiji, because the internet's full of lies. I hate to tell you that, but buyer beware. Don't buy junk. You'll fight with it forever. And if you're not sure what kind of quality of machine you're looking at, try lifting it up. You'll know really quickly. A 15-pound machine and a 5-pound machine sew really differently. That little machine with no weight at all, the moment you start trying to put your quilt through here, your machine is just going to move across the table with your quilt. I'm guessing this one's going to stay put, even if you're sewing full speed. So, any questions, guys? Thank you for joining me. Be safe, be kind, be calm, and enjoy some Tuesdays, whatever you eat on Tuesdays. We're having tacos at my house. So, take care, guys.